The 22C Chanel Cruise collection is finally available both online and in stores. And I know that Chanel has been making it like almost impossible to find, photos of the bags on their website. So I've got a bunch of them here for you. We'll go through them and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts because I know a lot of times like we like different stuff. So definitely let me know what you think and which bags you think are gonna be the hot ones or the ones that you're trying to go after in this collection. So let's get into it. Let's start with their seasonal flat bags because Chanel always does a bunch of really beautiful seasonal flat bags. And the first one that I'm interested, and by the way, I'm gonna like look down at my computer because I've got all my notes here, is this gorgeous white mini classic flat bag with the black stripe down the center, which I actually think is really smart of Chanel. Because if you think about it, there are a lot of folks out there, myself included, who love neutrals, right? Like we love white, black, gray, and beige. But there are also only so many classic flaps that you can buy in those colors. So once you've bought all those, kind of like what's next? Or for those of you that like black and white but you want something a little different, I think that this bag does a really good job at still being like a really chic, classy, very contemporary looking classic flap, but it's a little different, it's a little fun, and I really like it. So the white version of this bag is a mini classic flap. So right now, before the price increase, it's $4,400, but obviously a lot of these prices will change after the price increase goes into effect. But they also have a really nice wallet on chain version. And I think there's something about this like black and white on the wallet on chain version that actually feels really elegant. Like I feel like this is actually something that I would take like to an evening event because it feels very like almost like black tie, maybe because it kind of reminds me of a tuxedo, something like that. But I'm a really big fan of like the corresponding wallet on chain. They also have this bag in a black version and it's a black small classic flap. So I believe the small version currently with the prices is $7,800. So I really like this one. This one does feel a little bit more formal than the white one does. Again, I think just because it has like a lot more black. But I cannot help when I look at this bag, even though I really like it, to kind of like get like Pepe Le Pew vibes. Like this kind of, for some reason, just like reminds me of a skunk with like this stripe right down the center. So even though I like it, I recognize that, I don't know, it could be a little weird just depending on what your taste is. Now this bag also comes with a corresponding like pouch bag, one of those flat pouches, which I think is really good for iPads and tablets. I'm not as crazy actually about the pouch version because I feel like the sizing of the white stripe down the middle is too thick, so it looks like a bit color blocky and not like in an elegant way, just like in a slapped together kind of way. I really wish that they had made the center stripe a little bit thinner because then it would feel like a bit more chic, a bit more contemporary. So personally, I'm not so crazy about the pouch, but if you've been needing a pouch and you like neutrals, this might be a really good option for you. So I feel like this next set of bags, there are a few like this on the list for this season that I feel like are having a little bit of an identity crisis. I feel like this one is kind of like, it's a classic flap, but it wanted to have a baby with a Chanel 19 and it kind of didn't go the way that they thought it was gonna go. Or like it was, I don't know, like a classic flap that decided it wanted to grow up to be a Chanel 19 and then it got like hijacked by drugs when it was a teenager. I don't know, but like personally, I think this bag has like way too much going on. So it's kind of got the look and feel, like if you take all the extra stuff like away, it kind of looks and feels like a classic flap, right? But I feel like the designers were like, let's just throw everything that's working right now onto this bag that kind of looks like a classic flap. So they decided to keep it quilted, but they wanted to make the quilts more oversized, make them a little bit more puffy because, that is what's working right now. Then they also decided to add like the Chanel 19 chain and like the mixed metals on the double CC. And then they decided to add some dangly coins, which like that I really don't get. And then they decided to add hair clips. Like, like all the branded hair clips that you're seeing on social right now, they're really popular. They added those onto the bag. Now, I don't know if those hair clips are removable or not, but either way, I'm kind of not into it. Like if they are removable, that's great because you get a bunch of hair clips to go along with the bag. I highly doubt they're removable, but then that means that they'll probably fall off and you'll have like $500 hair clips, laying in the street after you spent all this money on this bag. So I don't like that. And then if they're not removable, it just feels like the bag is really busy. I don't know. I just think in general, like this bag feels like really busy, really overdone. So here we have it in the white style, and that is the mini flat bag. This bag is $6,700, obviously, because I had to pay for all those damn hair clips. And then they also have it in the small size again in the black. I think that the black here actually looks better than the white, but I still don't think it looks great. And then they do also have it here on this wallet on chain version. I actually like the wallet on chain the least because I feel like this one is like somewhat busy, but not busy enough, but it is still too busy, if that makes sense. Like there's not enough ornamentation on it for it to be like a really decorated bag. And it's just got like this one pearl sitting here right in the middle that just looks really out of place to me. So I'm gonna stop hating on those bags and move on. Oh wait, to another bag that I don't love. So this flat bag I feel like is really interesting because it's got, I mean, it says it's tweed, but it almost feels like a chenille, like pink fabric, like really like soft and fluffy. And then it's got this like really hard black leather whip stitching around it. And then again, it's got one of these like dangle coins, which like I'm not into those. So I feel like this bag actually could have worked if instead of the pink, they did like an ivory chenille or something like that. But there's something about the shade of pink, it's like too pinky, too feminine, and it doesn't go with the whip stitching or the leather. I just feel like it's a juxtaposition that doesn't really work. It just feels honestly like an unsuccessful mixing of two different materials. So like, I'm not really into this bag. Next up is another bag that again, I feel like is having a little bit of an identity crisis. It's somewhere across between a love child of a classic flap and a Chanel 19. But I will say, although I do not love that seasonal fabric, and I know that brands have to come out with like seasonal prints, like in order to have like new and exciting stuff, I feel like Chanel could have done a little bit nicer of a print here. Honestly, I'm not crazy about this print. Not to mention the fact that it looks like this fabric is like going to get dirty very easily. It doesn't feel like it'll be easy to clean. So like, I don't want that. But aside from that, I do like that they have like a chunky gold top handle there because like that is something that I think a lot of us have really discovered that we love in the past few years. And I also like that they decided to do something different with like the long strap. The long strap is, granted, it's made out of this fabric that I don't like, but it is made out of something different. And I like that they decided to do something different with the long strap. So even though I don't love this bag, there are elements of it that I think are really cool. And I hope that they start, you know, trying some more of those design elements in future collections for other types of bags where I think they could be a little bit more successful. Next up is a set of bags that I actually really like. So again, they're just calling it like a large flat bag. So this bag is on the bigger size and it does come in both the black and the white versions here. And it's got the beautiful Chanel 19 hardware here. And I like that they found a way to take the weaving from like the kind of like embroidered Chanel 19 CC and they've brought that element into the bag strap. I think that this is a really nice, really dainty bag strap, even though it is gold, right? And even though it's got a lot going on, it still feels very light and airy. So I am a really big fan of this bag. And if, you know, I were going to spend this amount of money on one of the bags, I would definitely go for the white one. I think that the white one is really pretty. Also, personally, I'm just really into white right now. Maybe it's because like I have a lot more black bags, but I really like the white version. So definitely something that I am a fan of. Next up, they have a classic flap in one of their Chanel tweeds. And I'm having a hard time with this bag because this bag I think actually had the potential to be really cute. So I love the all blacked out hardware, you know, the black leather strap, you know, the black turn lock, all that. I love that. But I think that those all black elements are too much given the tweed because the tweed has like really thick black, you know, stripes throughout it. I feel like they kind of needed to do a little less in this bag. I think that they could have considered, for instance, like in the tweed itself, making the black a lot thinner so that there was a lot less like dark elements in the tweed fabric itself, then the all blacked out hardware made sense. Or I feel like if they actually just changed the color of the leather strap running through the chains, like if they made that like a white, a gray, or maybe even a pink, that would lighten the bag up. Or I think if they just changed the turn lock, that could have changed it too. But overall, I feel like it's like one too many, which is funny because like Chanel's the one that says like, whenever you're looking at something, like before you're leaving the house, you know, like take a step back, edit, and take one piece off. I feel like they needed to take one dark element off this bag and it could have been a really cool bag. So unfortunately, close, but not there for me. Next up, they have this really cute, what looks to be just like a regular classic, you know, quilted top handle black bag. But when it turns to the side, you can see that they've got this really interesting, like three-dimensional golden diamond pattern, which I think is really cool. And you can see it in a couple of their other bags. I like that they've taken, you know, something that is so classic and something that does really well and like given it a little bit of oomph, right? Like this is something that you want to wear when you're going out. This is something that will get you a little bit of attention. So I do like this bag. I think that like the golden corners are a bit too much for me, you know, in my very boring, like casual environment of San Francisco. But I think a lot of you would probably like this one. And I also like the size of like the CC on it, like the age gold hardware and like the stroke of the C itself. It's thin, but not too thin. So I really like this one. I think that this bag's gonna do pretty well, actually. I'm not even gonna mince my words here. I freaking loathe this bag. They took what could have been a beautiful, beautiful crocheted black classic flap, and it's like some crafty crazy lady with 1,000 cats, no offense to those of you that have cats, but y'all know who I'm talking about, crazy craft lady who wears her crafting vests and like carries, you know, her knitting needles into the bathroom or like wherever she likes to go. She decided to hot glue gun like 1,000 different camellias and like ripped ribbons, and it's too much. Like one camellia, fine, but what is this hodgepodge? And I'm really disappointed because I've actually been looking into like different textured fabrics in general for my bags, and a black crocheted one, just as they have it here, honestly would have been beautiful. I would have loved it. I hate this as it is, so I am not into it. And not only that, but I'm filming this before the price increase. This bag is $10,300. I want to know, is there anyone out there that's watching this that wants to pay $10,300 for this bag? Like, what? Why? Why? I don't understand. Why, Chanel? Why did you do this to me? But to make up for that hideous bag, I am now going to gift you one of my favorite bags in this collection, and it is the Denim Pearl Crush mini bag. I'm obsessed with this bag. So personally, I have been looking a lot on the pre-loved market for a really nice denim bag. So I've been looking a lot at classic flaps. I've been looking a lot at like Saint Laurent bags because they have a lot of denim too in like past archives. And I've been trying to find one that's like the right shade of denim. But sometimes they are too grungy or too dark, or you know, it's got some weird print on it, and so it's not quite right. So I have just been waiting for Chanel to come out with like a really beautiful, like perfect denim blue bag, and here it is. I love it. I love this bag so much. I am so excited about it. I have already asked my SA to like try and reserve one for me, but we all know I am not a VIP, so I'm probably not going to get it, but I love this. I think it's such a cool casual bag, but it still feels very Chanel, obviously, and it does feel dressed up because it does still have the golden elements, and I love that being part of the Pearl Crush line, it does have that adjustable chain, so that way you can wear it a number of different ways. I think this bag is amazing. Now, if you are into this bag, which you should be if you're not, well, I'm kidding, like you don't have to be, but like I think a lot of you would be into this bag. The good news is they have continued the denim and they are using it in different pieces throughout this collection. So here they have it on this really great, like cute little mini bag, which of course they very articulately call like clutch with chain. Thanks, Chanel. Like you do a lot in terms of like naming conventions. But this is really great, again, because it's something that you can, you know, wear as a belt bag. You can just throw it over your arm. You can even do like a little over the titty situation. So I think that this is a great one. Honestly, like I'm really interested in this bag too. And then they are also doing it in this gorgeous wallet on chain. So I really like wallets on chain, but I don't particularly love, and please don't crucify me for saying this, I do not love the classic ones because the CC is so small. The CC looks so small, it looks like a little inexpensive, a little dinky. So that's why the only wallet on chain that I have is actually the boy version, because I felt like the CC on there was a bit more substantial and it really felt like a true Chanel bag. So I love this version because it's got the slightly bigger CC. It's really beautiful, and again, you know, my only other gripe with the wallet on chain is the length of the chain itself, and because this one is Pearl Crush, basically I'm just like gushing about how I want all three of these denim bags. So if any of you are feeling generous and you would like to purchase me one, let us know. Now, denim is not the only color or fabric that they are doing in this collection that I think is going to sell really well. I think another one that is going to sell like hotcakes is this beautiful light green pistachio color. Oh my God. I am not really even like a big pastels fan, but like there is something about this shade of green that I am really into because it's not too saturated, you know, it's not too yellowish. I really like it. And you know, I'm normally like a dark green fan, but I think that this green is out of this world, and they're doing it in so many different bags. So they definitely have it in the classic flap, although I have not seen the pistachio green classic flap on the website yet. But again, that's also because Chanel makes bags impossible to find. But I have seen it in their wallet on chain. I also see it like here in their little like classic clutch with chain. Again, it's like their card holders that are on a chain. They also have it here in this really cute little mini size of the Chanel 19 bag. So we all have talked about how the Chanel 19 is not really my style, but I do still like it. And I actually want to go try this bag on and kind of see how it fits on, because it's got this nice like thicker chain, like thicker than a typical wallet on chain. I think that this is really pretty, and this could be the way that I get Chanel 19 into my collection in a way that feels right for my style, you know? I really like this like small bag situation that they have. And then they also have it in this beautiful teeny tiny little vanity case. So don't let the picture fool you. It's not a round vanity case. It's more of like a flat situation. Like if you were looking at it from the top, this is what it would look like. If you need like a rounder one where you can fit a lot of stuff, this isn't the one for you. This would be one that you get a couple cards in, maybe your keys and a lipstick. That's it. Like you're not really fitting much else in there. And you're definitely not fitting like a huge key fob in there. So something to keep in mind. And then they do also have this in the belt bag. And I know y'all have seen this for like a few seasons now, but I thought it was interesting because the little card holder on there is chevron. And I feel like, you know, they're not really doing a ton of chevron right now. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But again, the pistachio color is like woven throughout so many different pieces here. I mean, I really love it. And I have a feeling a lot of you are going to be into this pistachio color too. So let me know what you think about that one. Another color that I think is really, really cute. It's not personally my style, but for some reason it does just put like a smile on my face. Is this really nice like peachy sherbety orange color. So something about like both this one and the pistachio, like they both remind me of ice cream, right? Like there are ice cream vibes. And if you think about like the last collection where they had the lilac and the light blue, these are all very much so like ice creamy, like delicious colors. But here you can see that the peachy color, again, they're doing it in a lot of different bags. So here you can see it in the small boy bag. And even though, you know, like I know that the boy bag is losing popularity, I actually feel like this combination of like the shiny gold with the orange sherbet color actually looks really nice together. So if that's a color, you know, that you would wear, it might not be a bad idea to like try and sneak up on that boy bag that they have. They also have it in the Chanel 19. And again, I think I'm just a fan of like gold and this like sherbet orange in general. Like they just look really nice here. They're very warm and they seem to complement each other nicely. Then they also have it in this cute little bag that they are calling clutch on chain. But this actually seems like a really good bag when you just need to throw something on and run out the door. You don't want to hold your card holder with you or your wallet. You can just stuff that in here. I know it's not like a typical size, but I like that it's got like the quilting on it, and I like that it's got the double strap. So actually seems like a really functional bag here. So that's it for the peach. Now we're going to talk about one of the bags that I think, or one of the, like, you'll see in a second, it's going to be some of the most highly sought after bags in this collection. Definitely a unicorn. Like these are going to be the ones that are going to be bought by resellers. Unfortunately, I hate you resellers. They're going to be sold on pre-loved sites for like probably double the cost. It's this beautiful like pinky gold iridescent, almost like rainbow ombre situation. I know I just use like a lot of words, but we'll just call it like the iridescent pink, okay, for this collection. I mean, you all know this is not my style. Like this is very, very feminine, very girly, and this is just not really how I dress. But it has me wanting to be someone that dresses like that, if that makes sense. Like I genuinely really like this bag. I like the ombre effect that they have. And I like that there are different shades of like purpley, pinky, and gold in there, which look really nice together. So they have this really great, you know, mini flat bag. This one's $4,800. Now, they do also have it here in what they're calling a clutch with chain. I don't think you can call this a clutch with chain. This looks like a little travel pouch. This does not look like you could even put a credit card in there. I could be wrong. So I don't understand that naming. But also I don't think that this is a successful design because the chunky chain feels too thick for the size of this little like pouch, whatever it is. It just seems like it doesn't really go. Like, and maybe it's because they didn't want to call it an AirPods case. They wanted to call it something else. Maybe they could charge a little more. I don't know, but I just don't think that the size and scale of these two pieces really go together. So I don't know. I mean, I will say, if they sold just a little pouch on its own, I would totally buy that as like a little travel pouch for, you know, when I go on trips. But, you know, for, what is it, over $2,000 with this like needlessly chunky chain, I don't think that this works. Okay, next we have the wallet on chain, and I feel like whoever selected the sample that they were going to shoot really messed up here, because if you look at this from the front, this looks like a silver bag with like a rainbow chain. This does not look like an iridescent bag, but as you can see, when you look inside and on the back of it, there it's got the iridescent, you know, the pink and the purple showing. Because as you know, whenever Chanel does bags like these, like no two are alike, the leather's always very unique, very different. So you have to pick one that has a pattern that you like. And I feel like for the one they picked for the website, they should have picked one that had a little bit of pink and purple showing on the front. But I do actually like here in this size, the chunky chain. I think that that works really nicely. Okay, next up we have a really cute batch of different types of messenger bags. So in the mini size, they have it in 2 different colors. They have it in black here, and then they also have it in, it's not quite that peachy color. Maybe it's just because it's in velvet and maybe like the different material makes it look different. It's similar to that peachy color, but it's a bit more pinky. So I don't know, I would actually call this a pink, not a peach. But in the mini size, these bags are $4,500, which, you know, now relative to like all of Chanel bag, you know, pricing, that's actually a pretty good deal. And I do really like the whole messenger bag look. And I like that the bag's not overdone, right? Like a lot of times with their seasonal bags, Chanel will like slap on a lot of different ornamentation. I'm glad that they kind of left these as they are and just kind of let the design speak for itself. And that way you can kind of focus on the fabric, right? And the velvet being like so different and special. Now this bag does also come in a larger size. As you can see, here it is. Now online, I could only find it in the black. Maybe in stores, they might have it in additional colors. But what I really like is that I don't just like the bag itself, but for being a larger bag, it's only, relatively speaking, $4,800. Compared to the mini, it's only a $300 jump. So if you're looking for a bigger bag, this actually is a really good deal in terms of like Chanel overall. Another new seasonal style that they came out with, I think, is this really nice, really casual distressed hobo bag. So the hobo bag, at least from what I can see online, has 2 different colors in the same size. And I really love that it has got that, again, the chunky gold chain. There's something about like the level of warmth in that gold of the chain that I think is really nice. It's not too brassy, not too cool, and it's not too bright or shiny. It just seems to be, ooh, someone is angry. It just seems to be like this perfect shade of gold. And again, like shoulder bags are having such a moment right now, and we're living in such a casual environment. This overall distressed look, I mean, I think is going to do really well. I will say, if I had to pick one of the 2, again, I would pick the white and gold combination. I think it just looks so nice, so classy, just like very clean. And I think overall this is a really pretty bag, especially if you want like a nice true shoulder bag, not like a convertible one, but one that like genuinely like it is meant to be worn as a shoulder bag. This is a great option. Next up are a few different bags and accessories that are from this. Okay, I'm so sorry. Someone's very angry. We'll give them a minute. This is extremely awkward. Okay, here's to hoping that they're done having a little temper tantrum. So let me start again. I think that this next collection does really well for those of you that are like me and you like more classic styles, but it is nice that there's like a little element where there's something different without like, again, having the whole kitchen sink slapped onto it. Welcome to San Francisco, my friends. So I really like that this bag here has like the black quilting and the gold hardware. But as you can see, it's got this really interesting grommet detail in the mixed metals, so both gold and silver hardware. And it also has like double chains on it. Now here you can see it in the vanity case version, but they do also have it in a wallet on chain version that I think looks really nice. And also you can even see it here in like a little AirPods case. So something tells me that they probably have it in other versions of bags too that I can't just see on the website. I wouldn't be surprised if they were like a stereotypical type of flat bag that looked just like this. So if you're kind of like done with all your classic flaps and all that, and you like black, you like gold and all that, but you want something a little different, I think that this grommeted version is actually a really nice way to go. Next up, I have some of the other Chanel 19s that we can see here. Now, I already showed you the peach version, But now, calling all of my fellow gold lovers, here is this gorgeous metallic. It looks like it's probably iridescent too. Chanel 19. It is beautiful. It is stunning. I love it. It is making my Persian heart go pitter patter. I wouldn't probably wear it here living in San Francisco, but like if I lived in a city where like fashion was a thing, I probably would wear it. But I also really like this like beautiful black crocheted version. This was what I wanted from the classic flap that they, you know, slapped all those additional like camellias and ribbons on. This is what I wanted. I mean, honestly, like if I were a Chanel 19 wearer, I would get this bag. I think that the black crocheting against like the mixed metals looks really nice, really beautiful, really classy, and also again, casual because it's crocheted, so it's not like doing too much. Then they also have, and I'm calling this one specifically out because I know a lot of you really like the maxi version of the Chanel 19 because it's a really good like travel bag, work bag. Here they have it in a lighter gray color. I'm having a hard time thinking about like what to call this. It's not like a dove gray. It's too light to be an elephant gray. Honestly, the only word that comes to mind, and it is not the right word, it's actually derogatory. It's like a dishwater gray. I think that's the color of it, but they have that too. I know that sounds bad, but overall, I mean, I do like this color gray. I just can't think of what to call it. So here it is. If you need a maxi and you like gray, this is the one for you. Now, let's talk about all of the evening bags that they have, i.e. the ridiculously stupid expensive bags, the price upon request bags, okay? So this first clutch that they have, I mean, I love all of like their hard clutches, you know, their box bags. I really like the level of precision and detail that goes into them. And actually, if you look at the side of this one, you can see that it looks like they've actually taken the chain that they use on the boy bag and they've put it all the way around this little clutch. I think it's really special. And because it's black and gold, like obviously, I really like it. Now, another beautiful price upon request bag that they have is, I mean, I kind of think of this as like the Tin Man's handbag. Like, I feel like this is the bag that the Tin Man would wear if he were a Chanel guy. Now, I really like this bag. I think it's really cool. I'm sure it's stupidly expensive and makes no sense for regular people to buy. But like, if you have a bunch of money, I think this is a cool bag. However, again, I hate the color of the strap here. I feel like they should have woven through it like a gray leather, not a black leather. The black just doesn't seem to go. It doesn't really seem to make sense. Like, it just ruins the overall vibe of the bag. I mean, even if you just wanted to wear this as like a casual everyday bag, which I feel like you can do. Like, I think I like this like mix of like formal and casual. And I feel like with jeans and a t-shirt and this, you could be good to go, but the strap then just kind of ruins it. So I'm really disappointed in the strap. I wish they changed that, but Tin Man can get a Chanel bag if he wants it. Now I have the first of two beautiful crystallized bags. So this one actually has both crystals and pearls. And even though this is not my color palette, I think it's really beautiful. Like, look at the detail of these crystals. I mean, it really is stunning. But again, I will say, I think they chose the wrong color for the leather and the strap. I think it should have been either like a beige clair, a pink, even the peachy color probably would have made more sense than this white one does. I mean, the white's not as bad, right, as the black ones that we've seen in this collection, but I don't think that white makes sense here because the rest of the bag is so warm, the white ends up feeling a bit cool. But I still think this is a beautiful bag. I mean, for like $20,000, like if I had it, you know, I would love to wear this bag. And it's like cousin, it's not exactly the same. It's got a similar shape, but different type of ornamentation. This is like the darker, like the evil cousin. That was like Glenda the Good Witch. This is like the Wicked, Wicked Witch, you know, whatever, the East or West. I can't remember. But this is like the dark version. This is really cool. Like it's got, this one doesn't have a ton of pearls, I don't think. I think this one's mainly crystals, but you know, it's got a bunch of different crystals on it. Really pretty. And I think a nice way to kind of like dress up a bag if you're going out for the evening. Moving on to vanity cases, we're gonna start with a bag that honestly has me feeling very perplexed, like very confused about this bag. So this is like their wooden vanity case. I don't get it. Okay, like wood is like a weird material in general, but like I am here for like raffia, like straw, wicker, whatever. But this wood, I mean, if it's gonna be wood, it's gotta be a beautiful wood. And this doesn't look like a beautiful wood. This kind of reminds me of like, stay with me for a second, like the cheapo cutting boards you buy and they're like that fake material that are supposed to look like wood, but they're not really wood. That's kind of what this looks like to me. In theory, I really like the idea of a wooden bag, like a vanity case with black detailing, but this execution just doesn't feel good. It feels plain. It honestly looks a little bit cheap. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but it feels under-designed. It feels like there should be some type of detail around the black on the edge or something like that. I also think that this bag would be a pain to clean. I don't know if it's super heavy or super light. I mean, I have a lot of questions here, and honestly, too many questions. I don't get it. I'm not into it. I don't want to. I don't want to. So, I don't know. And I also think it's super expensive. Now, next up, this is that like gold diamond detailing that we saw when we were talking about the seasonal flat bags. We saw it on that last one with like the top handle. This is it in their little vanity case, lunchbox, whatever you want to call it. And I think that this is a really cute bag. This is something that's a lot of fun. You can wear it when you're going out, like on vacation, or like if you're going out to a club or something. I mean, shoot, you can even wear it like during the day. I feel like this would be, a lot to wear during the day. Like I would probably choose the Tin Man bag over this one for like a daily outfit if I were gonna do like a casual with a crazy bag. But I think that this is really cute. I think it's really fun. I really like it. It's definitely like a loud, shouty bag. So this is for someone that like wants you to see how fabulous you are, that they can buy a crazy Chanel bag like this. But I really like it, and I think it's a lot of fun. Now, next up we have arguably probably the favorite vanity case that Chanel has ever put out, in my opinion, right? Now, I know like everyone feels very differently about vanity cases, but the reason I've had a hard time pulling the trigger on their like really cute little vanity bags that have come out is that even though I recognize them as being really cute, to me, they still feel like they look like a makeup case. And I don't want to be walking around with something that kind of looks like my makeup case, if that makes sense. So I like this because of the shape of it. It doesn't look like a vanity case at all to me. This looks like a bag, or like a mini bag, like a small leather good. I really, really like this. I also love, like the dishwater gray. What can I say? But in addition to that, I like that they've changed up the chain on this. So you can see that they have added in some like chunky, like little plexiglass detailing and some oversized chain links here, but I think gives this bag a lot of visual interest that makes it really cool. And honestly, like, I don't think I would be willing to spend the money on this bag, but like I do really like it, and I think it's a really cool take on a vanity bag. It's like a more contemporary version of a vanity bag. So I really like this one. Next up, I did just want to point out, even though I know the boy bag is like, on its way out, but they came out with some mini versions, and I really, really like them. So again, they did them in black and white. And what I love about them is that they're not the typical quilted version. Like they are smooth leather, and they've got like that beautiful Chanel written on the top. I just think they look really luxe, like really fancy, for lack of a better word. And honestly, out of all of the gold and white combos, this is one of my favorites. Like honestly, if the boy bag didn't already like have this cachet of like kind of being like going out of style, I would probably buy this bag. I really like it. I will say I think it's too expensive for what it is. It's $5,300, and to me that feels like a lot for a mini bag. Feels a lot for a boy bag, a mini boy bag. I just think in general they should have done something in like the $3,000 to $4,000 price range for this bag, but whatever. Chanel price is clearly a lot different than I think they should. Next up, we have a set of bags that honestly kind of confuses me a little bit. And I'm gonna be honest, not crazy about them. So there are these very thin shopping bags. And when I say thin, I mean like it's just like a folder, right? Like there's no width or depth to the bag. Like you couldn't stand it up. So honestly, like I don't know what type of shopping they're intending for people to do with this bag, but it wouldn't like spread open very wide, so you couldn't fit that much in it. So, this would actually be like a great like folders bag or something for like people who carry a lot of papers or documents, which I don't know who does that nowadays, like everything's digital. So I'm just very conflicted by this bag, but also, and I feel bad saying this, I think this bag looks cheap, which is surprising because it's not. This bag is almost $5,000. And who knows if they're gonna change the price of it after the price increase. But I just feel like with the way they've put the chain on the outside and then again on the pocket and then again they've got it on the Chanel 19cc, it just feels like someone again just like hot glued it around to make it look like a Chanel bag. I think it looks really cheap. And honestly, so this is it in the leather version. If for some reason you're crazy about it, they do also have it in like a suede fringe version. How much is that one? $5,100. That is so much money. That is a lot. that is crazy to me, honestly. It feels like too much, but like if they actually had this in a small bag, like if it were a small fringe bag and they took out some of those like links, that would actually be a really cute bag. That's something that I'd consider buying. Something, you know, I think people would wear a lot to like festivals, but as it stands, I really don't know how this bag would be used on a daily basis for anyone. It just doesn't make sense to me. Let me know in the comments if you disagree with that. Okay, we're getting close to the end, but I have just like a few more random, like little, like I'll just call them like miscellaneous bags. And this first one is a bowling bag. The funny thing about this is kind of tugging on my heartstrings because I've been looking at like pre-loved bags a lot, and I've seen a lot of really cute bowling bags. Like both Dior and Gucci have a lot of really cute vintage ones. So I have been thinking about buying one. I don't know why, like they're not in or anything right now, but I really like this one version from Chanel. So if you're like me and you're into bowling bags, like this is a great version. And I mean, again, relatively speaking for Chanel, it's pretty cheap. That's also because it's not leather. It's $3,300. Now, this next one I think is a stunner. It's their DeVille tote in this like white on white, you know, just like the slightly off-white ivory coloring that I think is really beautiful. Like I think this is a very classy bag. Because a lot of times the DeVille to me feels like a bit too much. Like there's a lot of writing on there. To me, like I'm like, I don't know, like kind of just like scares me a little bit. But this one would be one that I could really get on board with. But I'm conflicted because I feel like whenever I want to use like a bigger bag, like a tote bag, I'm either traveling or going to work or, you know, I'm going to the beach or the park or something. So I'm probably going to get dirty. So on that note, it means that the white doesn't make sense. But I really like how it looks. But I mean, it would just be like asking to get dirty. So I would only suggest getting this if you use DeVille totes, like not in like a more utilitarian way, if you like them in more of like a decorative way, then this bag makes total sense. But I think that the colors are really pretty on there. And then finally, we have, this is like a new style of walk that I haven't seen before. And you can see again here that this has a really interesting chain, very similar to that more contemporary, like small vanity case that we talked about, where it's not just like the same consistent chain all the way through, but instead there's a portion of it that is oversized. It feels like they might want you to use it as a top handle. And I really like this bag because in addition to that, I mean, maybe it's because they feel like, you know, a lot of people have walks and they need to like change it up to make it more current. But I like the size of the quilting on this. It's slightly bigger, right? It looks really nice. And I like the double CC. It's a bit bigger, right, than the typical walk CC. So I think that this is a really nice bag. I will say the color, you know, I recognize that it's a really nice color. It's very similar to that peachy sherbet one. It might even be the peachy sherbet color and the lighting might just be a little off in this photo, but I probably wouldn't buy this color, but I think a lot of you all would like this color. So if you are looking like, you know, for like a mini or like a classic flap or something, and they're way out of your price range, consider this walk because I mean, it's very similar and really cute. Now, that brings us to the end of the bags and SLGs that we're going to talk about today. There are other ones out there, so if you're curious, you know, just go and take a little look on the Chanel website or go into your store and see your essay and see what else they have. They always have different selection in store versus online. Now, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Lily. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you found it helpful, I would love it if you could just give this video a little like, just give it a little thumbs up down in the corner below. And if you haven't already, what are you doing? Subscribe to my channel so that way you can get all the latest shopping content that I put out, including all things Chanel delivered straight to you. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been a pleasure as always, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye everyone.